For 30 years, I worked as an electrician, climbing into attics, crawling through basements, fixing other people's disasters while my back begged for mercy. Every paycheck, every side job, every overtime hour went into one goal. Someday, Diana and I would escape the city and find a place where peace wasn't just a word, but a way of life. That dream came true 2 hours north, at a lake called Whispering Pines. The air smelled like pine needles and fresh water, not car exhaust and desperation. Birds replaced sirens. The cabin itself was old, a 1970s wooden build with worn siding, but its bones were strong. We called it our slice of paradise. Diana stood on the porch that first evening, watching the sunset bleed across the water, her face lit with awe. "This is it," she whispered. "This is where we finally breathe." I stacked firewood that week with a grin plastered across my face, sweat dripping but heart light. Every creak of the dock, every loon's call, every ripple in the lake felt like a reward for decades of hard work. But paradise has a way of testing you. Sometimes the ugliest storms arrive on the sunniest days. We thought we had escaped drama forever. We were wrong, because our trouble wasn't coming from the city we'd left behind. It was coming from right across the street. It started innocently enough. I was stacking logs near the dock when I heard a sharp voice behind me. "Excuse me, are you the new owners?" I turned to see a woman marching down our gravel drive like she owned it. Clipboard clutched tight, measuring tape draped like a sash of authority, and a smile that looked more like a warning than a greeting. "Yes," I said slowly. "We closed on the place last week." She extended her hand, but it wasn't friendly. "I'm Lorraine Kessler, Community Standards Coordinator for the Whispering Pines Lake Homeowners Association." She said the title like it was supposed to mean something. "Homeowners Association?" I repeated. "We didn't see anything like that in the paperwork." Her smile sharpened. "That happens sometimes. But as part of the HOA, you're responsible for compliance with our community rules. And you've already racked up several violations." She rattled them off without even looking up. Gate color non-compliant, dock position too close to the waterline, mailbox not up to code, and, my favorite, firewood stacked in a manner that disrupted visual harmony. "That'll be $350 in immediate compliance fees, plus $75 in monthly dues," she concluded, clicking her pen like she was handing down a prison sentence. Diana stepped out of the cabin, dish towel in hand, her brow furrowed. "I'm sorry, what HOA? Nothing about this was in our closing documents." Karen's eyes gleamed. "Honey, there's a lot you city folks don't understand. We protect property values here. You'll thank me later. City folks." She said it like a curse. With that, she spun on her heel, leaving perfume and hostility lingering in the air. That night, Diana asked me, "Do you think she's serious?" I shook my head. "She's a busybody. Ignore her." I should. 2 days later, she was back. And she wasn't alone. This time she had a young man with her, mid-30s, sunglasses, and a plastic badge clipped to his belt. "This is Tyler," Karen announced. "Our compliance officer." He wasn't fooling anyone. He looked like the only thing he enforced was high scores on video games. Still, he whipped out his phone and started snapping photos like we were suspects in a crime scene. Click, click, click. The gate, the dock, the truck. Even the way Diana had set potted flowers on the porch. They left a notice taped to our truck windshield. "Final warning," it read in bold red letters. "Repaint your gate or face escalating enforcement." I walked down the road that evening. 6 other houses had similar notices pinned to their doors. Neighbors avoided my gaze, hurrying inside. One older woman whispered, "Don't make her angry," before slamming her screen door shut. Diana read the notice and frowned. "Marcus, this doesn't even look official. There's no county seal, no registration number." She opened her laptop, typing like a woman possessed. After 20 minutes, she swiveled the screen toward me. "There's no registered HOA in Whispering Pines. Nothing in county records. This woman is making it up." "You're saying she's running a scam?" The truth settled like lead in my stomach. Karen wasn't just annoying. She was dangerous, and she'd been getting away with it. Over the next week, our mailbox filled with more threats. Late fees, warnings about liens, even threats of property condemnation. Tyler lurked near our driveway, phone in hand. Karen watched us from across the lake, binoculars glinting in the sun. That's when Diana snapped. If she wants a fight, she's got one. But we'll do it by the book. She started a binder. Every notice, every threat, every encounter logged with dates and details. We'll build a case, she said firmly. And then came the morning that changed everything. Diana had finally had enough of Karen's obsession with our gate. If she's going to threaten us about it, let's fix it once and for all, she said. She ordered a heavy-duty keypad lock, the kind banks use on their back doors. That Saturday, she installed it herself, drilling in screws with the precision of someone determined to take back control. By noon, Karen was standing at the gate, face red, phone glued to her ear. "Yes, operator. I need police immediately," she shrieked. "We have trespassers trying to lock community property." Yes, dangerous trespassers, interfering with emergency access. I stepped outside just in time to hear her. Tyler was there too, camera rolling, smug grin plastered across his face. Within minutes, a patrol car pulled up, lights flashing. My chest tightened. The officer climbed out, resting a hand near his cuffs. "What seems to be the problem here?" Karen rushed forward, shoving papers into his hands. "These people are squatters. They've illegally locked down HOA property. Look, here's the master deed." The officer scanned the documents. They looked official at first glance, until you noticed the inconsistent fonts, the typos, the forged signatures. Diana's voice trembled with anger but stayed calm. "Officer, that's not true. This is our property. We have the deed, survey, tax records, everything." "Ma'am," the officer said sternly, "please step back while I review this." Karen's smile widened. Neighbors peeked from porches. Phones recorded. For a moment I thought we were about to watch Diana, my Diana, get handcuffed on her own land. My fists clenched. I wanted to scream, to throw Karen's fake papers into the lake. But Diana's hand caught my arm. Her touch steadied me. She walked calmly to our truck, pulled out a folder, and handed it to the officer. Inside, our deed, title insurance, survey maps, tax receipts, all stamped, notarized, unquestionable. The officer's brow furrowed as he compared them to Karen's documents. Silence stretched. Karen babbled excuses. Tyler filmed every second. Finally, the officer looked up, hesitation in his eyes. And that's when I said it, my voice low but firm. "Before you believe her lies, you should know who my wife really is." Karen froze mid-sentence, because she was about to learn the truth. I stepped closer, eyes locked on Karen. "This isn't just some hobby for my wife. Diana spent 15 years as a forensic accountant. She built entire cases against corporations for fraud. She knows how to spot fake paperwork before most people even finish reading the title." The officer blinked, then glanced back at Diana. She stood tall, steady, no fear in her eyes. "She knows exactly what this woman is doing," I continued, "and she has the skills to prove it." Diana added quietly, "Everything this woman has given you is fabricated. Check the county registry yourself. There is no HOA." The officer flipped through Karen's so-called master deed again, and I saw the doubt creep in. The typos, the mismatched signatures, the lack of official seals. Even a rookie could see the cracks. Karen's smug grin faltered. "This is ridiculous. I represent this community. These city people think they can just..." But the neighbors watching from their porches weren't nodding anymore. They were whispering to each other, their faces shifting from fear to realization. They'd seen the notices, the threats, the endless harassment. And now they saw the truth unraveling. The officer handed Karen back her papers with a sigh. "Ma'am, unless you can provide legitimate county-registered documentation, these people are free to secure their property however they want." Karen's face went purple. She sputtered, pointing at us like a witch hunter in a bad play. "You don't understand. They're ruining everything. They." But nobody was listening anymore. Not the officer. Not the neighbors. Not even Tyler, whose camera trembled slightly in his hand. In that moment, Karen realized the mask was slipping. And my wife, calm, brilliant, relentless Diana, was just getting started. Exposed, Karen didn't retreat. She escalated. She tried bribes first. Showed up at our porch with an envelope stuffed with cash. "Let's just settle this quietly," she whispered. Diana recorded every word. When that failed, she turned to threats. Anonymous letters stuffed into neighbors' mailboxes. Social media posts calling us criminals. One morning we found "snitch" spray painted across our truck. Tyler/tires. Brenda, Karen's sister, lurked near driveways, scribbling notes. And still, Karen marched up and down the street waving her fake documents like a queen with a crumbling crown. But every move she made, Diana documented. Every threat, every vandalism, every bribe attempt. Photographed, time-stamped, filed neatly in a binder growing thicker by the day. The breaking point came when Karen, desperate and cornered, blurted out the truth in front of witnesses. "I've been flexible with enforcement," she hissed. "But if you people don't pay, you'll regret it. All these violations can disappear for the right price." Phones recorded. Neighbors gasped. The scam was no longer whispered rumor. It was fact, spilling out of Karen's own mouth. She thought she was untouchable. But the walls were closing in. The sheriff's department launched an investigation. Within weeks, Karen faced charges for fraud, impersonation, harassment, even attempted extortion. Tyler turned on her to save himself, admitting to everything. Brenda followed, spilling details about Karen's long-running scam. When the day of her arrest came, I watched from the porch as the same officer who once reached for handcuffs on my wife now locked them on Karen instead. Neighbors cheered quietly. Some cried. Years of fear and silence finally broke. In court, Karen looked small, deflated, her clipboard and fake authority stripped away. The judge called her actions a betrayal of human decency and sentenced her to years behind bars. For us, life at the lake finally became what it was meant to be. Peaceful. Neighbors waved without fear. Barbecues returned. Laughter echoed across the water instead of whispers of intimidation. Diana transformed her binder into something more. A guide she shared with other communities to protect themselves from scams. She became an advocate, speaking at town halls, teaching people how to fight back. And me? I finally stacked firewood without looking over my shoulder. Every crackle of the fireplace was a reminder. We fought back, and we won. Backhand index pointing right. That's the end of today's story. If you enjoyed it, make sure to hit the like button, share your thoughts in the comments, and most importantly, subscribe to HOA Stories Live. Don't forget to turn on the notification bell so you never miss another wild HOA story.